Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of the program, The Platform, our weekend edition as we talk about cultural issues, issues regarding health in the Bahamas, and we do this in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Peter Nygard and his company, Nygard International. And he's been in the fashion business for some 50 years, and he has made many commitments to talk about building our country in terms of health and wellness. And so we have always thought that it was a good idea to get involved with such a project. And Bianca Nygard, she procures the guests for our program every weekend. And Bianca, it's always good to see you.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here again.
You are wearing some beautiful colors today.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. And she's brought along today Julien Believe Thompson, who has been doing some wonderful things in music and entertainment. Julien, it's good to see you.
It's definitely good to see you both as well, and I'm happy to be here today. Finally, it feels good to make the show. I feel like I've arrived now because I'm finally on JCN.
Oh, you're JCN. Well, you know, I can tell you, a whole lot of young people have gotten some exposure here, and it's always good to see young people doing wonderful things.
It's always good to know we have a platform that we can look forward to going on. And as a kid, you know, I saw this, and you know, it's good to sit here and, you know.
10 years ago?
Longer than that.
Longer than that, okay.
Longer than that.
So tell me, how have you been progressing with your musical enterprise?
The first thing I would say is a lot of people in the past will look at musicianship or artists as a hobby. And I think today people now are realizing that this is a career and one that can be extremely successful. I feel very fortunate over the last 3 to 4 years. I've had the opportunity to launch my career from the Bahamas and be afforded opportunities to travel and perform pretty much all over the world. Last year alone, I did China, I did London, I did all over the US and a lot of islands in the Caribbean. And the year is already off to a good start. Last week I was in Texas, and next week I'm in Nashville and LA. And there's a lot to look forward to, I think, as a Bahamian creative. And to people, I want you to know that, listen, the Bahamas is a jewel, and the rest of the world knows that, and they see that. And to say that you're from the Bahamas is a great thing, and people love Bahamians, man. So I feel good. I'm happy to be living my dream, and I'm happy to be here today, man. It's a good thing.
Tell us, how did you get involved, and how long have you been involved?
What's crazy is I was supposed to be a doctor. My dream as a kid was to go to medical school. I had my uncle who was a doctor who was getting ready to pay for it. But my mom said I always had a compulsion to do music. And even in my crib, I was singing and humming. And this time I had no idea what she was talking about. But when I was 13 years old, I went to a recording studio and I performed for a group of individuals, musicians, serious musicians. And they looked at me and they laughed. And they said, boy, you better stick to your day job and go finish school. And I took that energy and I used that as momentum to actually pursue a career in music. So when I was 14 years old, I went into the studio and I started recording, and I built a career in music since then.
When you say you built a career, you started at 14, and you started recording right here in the Bahamas?
Yes, yes, yes.
Were you mentored by anyone?
Ronnie Butler.
Ronnie Butler?
Yeah. And God bless his soul and rest his soul. And over the last 3 years, I had an opportunity firsthand to be by Ronnie's side, and I learned a lot about what he did, the mistakes he made, the great things that he did, and I was able to take that energy and all of that information and wisdom, and I decided to apply it to what I'm doing now and the music that I'm doing now. And I'm seeing the difference already in my career and the reception from the general public.
When you say general public, I'm sure you're talking about locally as well as internationally, and the Bahamian people have been quite receptive to what you've been doing, eh?
Very, very receptive. And it started even with the kids. We have a huge following with the youth in the country today, and I created a line dance called the Caribbean Slide.
The Caribbean Slide.
Caribbean Slide.
Are we going to see any of that today?
We can see that. In fact, my children were one of the first people to learn that.
Yep.
Learn the Caribbean Slide.
Yes.
We actually started doing videos, home videos, and we started with Maddox those. And that video we posted online, and then someone else shared it. And within 3 to 5 years, videos of people doing it all over the world.
Yes, I saw some video of some cheerleaders doing it, or a dance team, right?
There's people from the NBA. A few weeks ago, the Miami Dolphins cheerleaders performed it at the football games. There's just so many people, and I feel good. And I'm happy to say it started here in the Bahamas. Like, I launched my career from here. I'm a son of the soil, and I never left, blew up, and then came back to try to claim us. You know, there's so much that I can say about my journey in the Bahamas. The only thing I really feel is like, we as creatives don't give Bahamians a chance, and we automatically feel like Bahamians don't support, you know, they're not proud. But I feel like if you work hard enough and you have that faith and you show people that, you know what, you're worth supporting and you're investing in yourself and you're giving people quality, they're gonna have no choice but support you, you know. And to tie it in, Mr. Peter Nygard was instrumental a lot in my career last year. We shot 3 music videos in about 2 weeks, and he was gracious enough to give us his property to be able to showcase another side of the Bahamas. And really, the music videos have been getting a lot of international attention as well. And we had a whole release party in London at Notting Hill Carnival back in August.
A release party?
And since then, the song has been doing extremely well on the international market.
What kind of audience did you have in London?
It's, I would say, very diverse market is for Notting Hill Carnival. So if you know them, they have from Africans, all the Caribbean people, everything that you could possibly imagine. Like, London is a melting pot of cultures. So we had the opportunity to have all of them in one place and perform it. There's some videos online of people. That probably was the biggest crowd on the road that I've ever performed for. It was about 10,000 people while I was on the truck. And the Carnival had about 2 million patrons on the road. Their road fever actually lasts 2 days. And that was big for me, I think, being the second Bahamian artist to ever grace those streets or those stages after, I think, Visage.
Visage. But tell us, who are the people who make up your group? Because I'm sure you have a lot of support, eh?
I have an amazing team behind me, and I think they're the ones that, people never see them, but they're the ones that keep me ticking and talking every day. Chameleon Management is the company and group that allows me to be the brand that I am and be the best that I am.
Bahamians involved?
Yes, Bahamians. Bahamians. We also have an international team, but the core of it is Bahamians. Yeah.
So your management team is Bahamian?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, man. I mean, we have to believe enough in ourselves and empower one another to feeling like, you know, we can do great things. And a lot of Bahamians are international, and a lot of us have what it takes. We just don't push one another to the limit, or we want to pull you down, you know.
Why do you think that is so?
Lack of exposure.
Lack of exposure.
Lack of exposure. You know, when you go to places like London, or you go to Trinidad, and you see the way that the creatives there empower one another, and New York, and you see the way the industries are, you can then come home and have an appreciation and then show people how to be different, be better, be examples. And I think what we lack locally is people who have that power, who have that influence to be like the Peter Nygards and say, hey, you know what? Let me invest in you guys. Let me give you guys a chance. And even someone like Peter Nygard, he doesn't even get the credit that he deserves for the contributions over the last 30 years that he's given to the Bahamian community. You know, I think anytime you're doing great things, people try to find a way to pull you down or taint your name or your image. And as a kid growing up, he was always a legend in the fashion world, so much that even my cousins were inspired by people like him. And my cousin today is a really successful designer. And I feel like there's a paradigm shift taking place in our country, a renaissance, where things are starting to change and people are starting to really value and appreciate what's Bahamian.
You are, as you say, a creative, and there are a whole lot of young people who would perhaps want to do what you have done. What do you say to them? Give them some inspiration.
The key thing is you must believe in yourself, and it doesn't matter what anyone else's opinion of you is. If you feel like you can be great, even if you're not great now, you can be great. You just have to invest time and energy into it. And you also can't be afraid to spend your own money into bettering yourselves. And if you want to be a great actor or musician or whatever, you have to invest and put yourself in those areas where the successful people are. And then you have to find the people like the Peter Nygards and let's say the Rick Foxes for basketball and the Buddy Hields and just people in, or even, what's her name? The young lady that just won the gold medal and broke the record, Shawnee Miller. You want to put yourself in a position to meet these kind of people, and you want to pattern your career or your life after them, you know. And when you have your opportunity to meet them, you give it your best. And you know, when people see you doing well and you're not afraid to invest in yourself, they will get behind you. And I think Peter Nygard is a prime example of someone who would get behind someone who is doing well for themselves. And the national team, the volleyball teams, the track athletes, there's so many people over the years that I think he has contributed gratefully and in tremendous ways that he's never really gotten the credit for. And again, today is a new day, and to celebrate him, you know, we congratulate him. 50 years, I mean, that's an amazing thing to do. And to know that he loves the Bahamas and this is home for him and his family and everyone is here, it's a big deal. And, you know, I'm just grateful to say that I know him.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's take a break here. This is our program, The Platform, and we have a very interesting guest here today. He has done some wonderful things. We'll come right back.